Biden, a memoir. That comes out next Tuesday. Brian Kilmeade, co-host of Fox and Friends and host of One Nation with Brian Kilmeade. Brian, I'll start with your initial response to some of the details that are breaking now. Another family member
cashing in, no doubt about it. You have a book deal coming in with Joe Biden's sister, Hunter Biden, who had the audacity to release his book after his dad gets elected, knowing how many questions would come up from just normal everyday living, like, hey, by the way, was that your laptop? And when did you learn to paint using a straw? And how much crack did you actually do? And were those naked pictures of you with hookers real, or dancers or strippers? I forgot how you exactly label them. And all this stuff was out there. He releases a book. The sister releases a book. And, of course, Joe Biden's brother Jim is partners with Hunter Biden on various international deals that Joe Biden evidently knew nothing about. Harris, I don't know about you, but that's a lot not to talk about on Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas and maybe Naomi's wedding in the next few weeks, who happens to be the daughter of Hunter Biden. But you have to, if I can quote Hillary Clinton, suspend disbelief to think for a second that Joe Biden didn't know, at least in a macro level, what was going on. And I bring you to a quote from the daughter, the Hunter Biden's daughter, Naomi. This is part of the email exchange, which, thanks to Washington Post and New York Times, we now know is real. So it's okay for me to read this. I hope you can do what I did and pay for everything for this family, Hunter writes to his daughter, Naomi. For this entire family, I've done that for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, who's the president, I won't ask you to give me half of your salary. I don't know. Does it seem to you like he knows something about his business deals?
Well, it seems to me that his children implicated him in such a way that somebody's going to have to ask him about it. And with this grand jury that's been convened in one investigation, it seems almost impossible that they wouldn't want to talk with Joe Biden. Not just that email, but some of the other tie-ins, you know, that the reference to the big guy and the money that was flowing. Let's get to this. The New York Post reports that House Judiciary Committee Republicans are demanding that 51 former intelligence operatives divulge information about their 2020 statement that documents from Hunter Biden's laptop could be a Russian disinformation. A senior GOP aide told the Post the ex-spies should expect subpoenas next year if they fail to comply. The signatories included former CIA leadership under Presidents Obama and Bush. That's what I'm getting to. There are a lot of people they're going to be talking to now. That's what grand juries do.
Yes. Leon Panetta, Mike Morrell, Mike Hayden, John Brennan, James Clapper, and 51 other people with impressive titles put their reputation on the line, in my humble opinion, and they had to use the logic in their training and put that aside to make sure Donald Trump wasn't elected. So if this is actually in there, and there's things that show a business dealings with the former vice president, how do I stop it? Well, for the good of the country, I'm going to sign a letter that I can't possibly believe that this is classic Russian disinformation. How can it be? How about calling somebody on the email chain and saying, hey, is that you? Did you write Devin Archer? Did you write Hunter Biden on April 11th, 2 years ago? And on that email chain, you could start authenticating. It said they put their reputations in the canister, in the dumpster, and they should be forced to answer those questions.
Look, you can look at the DOJ right now, and you can say special counsel. I know some on our team here at Fox, Mark Levin, have called for that, need a special counsel. And you can ask yourself which you trust more or less. The DOJ, which is part of the Biden administration. Do you want somebody separate? And who else do you want to hear from? Because reporters are now, not just our network, but all over, starting to sniff around. And that would be a Biden White House nightmare if they start to talk to some of these people, even before the investigation gets to them. It's all in the emails. All right, we'll move on. No wonder they de-stickered and did all that stuff and suspended some of us for trying to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. I get it now.
Like your co-host, Kayleigh McEnany, and her email, while she was suffering from COVID, she is the press secretary, retweeted the New York Post story and got her account suspended. Think about that.
Yeah, and I saw so many, right?
Yeah.
Okay, violent crime in New York City.